What's up guys, Parker Talks is back. Today we are going to be doing a complete opposite of my last video yesterday as we are going through the DC movies that I'm most excited to see upcoming. These are 8 films that a lot of these have been leaked with trailers and stuff with the recent DC fandom experience in August. So I'm going to go over the movies that I'm most excited to see, and let's get started. So before I get started, I am not as big of a DC fan as I am a Marvel fan, as I have seen all the Marvel movies through the MCU and the X-Men series. That's not the case for the DC movies. I have not seen all the DCEU movies, so this list might be a little scuffed, but again, this is my list. This is what I'm most excited for, not what you're most excited for, but please comment down below which one you are most excited to see. I would be glad to read those comments. So coming in at number 8, we have The Flash, which is set to release in July of 2022. I know there is a Netflix series on The Flash, which is a bunch of seasons. It's this TV show, and I have not seen that. So maybe if I had seen that, I would be more excited to see that. Again, this list might be a little scuffed. Also, this is the same actor as we see in Justice League, and what I am interested in this movie is that apparently he's going to go through alternate timelines, and he's going to go to alternate, basically all timelines or universes where there's 2 different Batmans, with the Ben Affleck Batman and the Michael Keaton Batman. So that would be really cool to see. Other than that, I just don't know much about anything else about this film, but there's some cool attributes in this film that I would be excited to see. At number 7, we have Aquaman 2, which is set to release in December of 2022. Now, Aquaman was actually one of the few superhero movies I have seen in theaters, and I thought it was a good movie, but if you had to basically describe a movie as fine or okay, Aquaman is the perfect movie for you. It's not because of Jason Momoa. I do like Jason Momoa. It's just, there's just parts of it that I guess it's just harder to do because a lot of the stuff is underwater. It's just not as intriguing to me. But Aquaman 2, we don't really know what's going to happen in this. So again, we don't know much what's going to happen, or I don't know much about this film in general. But because Aquaman was a fine movie, but still probably up there on the best DC movies, that's why it's only in at number 7. At number 6, we have the Justice League Snyder Cut edition, which hasn't been issued a date as of yet, but this is after, obviously, the first Justice League movie that many people, including myself, just did not like at all, and so many people hated it that they finally came out that they're gonna have a Snyder Cut edition, basically just revamping it, as the first Justice League movie was just under 2 hours long. For basically a movie that has the greatest stakes in the DCEU, under 2 hours was not ideal. So this one I heard is going to be closer to 4 hours. I only watched the first half of the Justice League movie until I just didn't want to watch anymore. That's how bad I thought it was. I would be excited to see how this movie is going to be. Definitely it's going to be better than the first Justice League movie. Yeah, I don't know much about how they're going to change it, but that you have 2 more hours to do that. So this movie could definitely be a lot better than the original. At number 5, we have Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which is set to release in November of 2022. Now, actually, I have not seen the first Shazam movie. Actually, I was with a group that went to the theaters. It was a bunch of people, and you either could go to Shazam, which I didn't go to, which meant I went to the Dumbo movie, the live action. So I've seen that movie. I haven't seen Shazam. But after just watching the trailer just now, it seems like a great movie, really funny, as this movie should be as well. Again, I need to watch that Shazam movie to know more information about this movie. However, it is going to be a year after the Black Adam movie, which Black Adam is supposed to be the villain of Shazam. So maybe you can have some scenes in that as well in Shazam, or just something relating to Black Adam. So I feel like this is a great, lively movie that I definitely need to see, as I should see the first one as well. At number 4, we have Wonder Woman 1984, which is actually set to release this year, October of 2020. And I'm really excited for this film, even though it goes at number 4 on this list. Wonder Woman was the first superhero movie I've ever seen in theaters, and it is my favorite DC movie I've seen. I know I haven't seen many, but I've heard it is the top DC movie of many people. I love Gal Gadot in this film, and Chris Pine is actually the Chris Pine actor character is actually going to be back in this film, surprisingly, even though he technically died in the last film. I guess he didn't, but so we'll see how that goes, and so there will be a whole story around that. You also have the Cheetah as the antagonist, which I don't know if it's my favorite, but it is what it is in this film as the antagonist. And just watching the trailer, I know I'm going to be excited to watch this film. I know I'm going to enjoy this film. I guess it's just at number 4 because I don't think it's going to be as good as the first one. But I still love the character of Wonder Woman, and so I'm gonna still love it regardless. At number 3, we have The Suicide Squad, which is set to release in August of 2021. Now, The Suicide Squad, the original film, is regarded as one of the worst superhero movies of all time. I haven't seen that movie either, but they're bringing James Gunn, who's a director from the Guardians of the Galaxy films. He was fired from being the director for the third Guardians of the Galaxy film, so he's now directing the Suicide Squad film, which I think will bring a lot of just funny moments in this film, as you see a lot of that in the Guardians of the Galaxy, and a lot of dark humor as well. So I think that will be cool. They also released like basically behind the scenes for this for them shooting this movie, and it seems really cool as there's just a lot of like different types of fight scenes and kind of like chaos and all that, and they're like on the beach or something, like going like running towards something. I don't know. It's like I don't know anything about the Suicide Squad. I know Harley Quinn is in it. Also, John Cena will be in this movie. Called the Peacemaker is his character name, but he said that he's a ripoff Captain America character basically. So that's pretty funny and that's pretty cool as well. Again, I don't know much about the Suicide Squad, but this movie seems, with James Gunn as a director, just going to be a lot better and a lot more enjoyable to watch. At number 2, we have Black Adam, which is set to release in December of 2021. Now, this is featuring The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and The Rock is one of my favorite, basically just actors of all time. Even though, just because he's in a lot of these movies that I really enjoy with these action films and all that. But he's now going to be a DC character, as Black Adam is basically the villain against Shazam, but he's also kind of like an anti-hero as well. They've already released basically a trailer for this with a comic book version style of it, and it basically shows how he's this slave in the beginning, but breaks out of for his freedom, and then it'll flash forward to 4,000 years to present day in the future, and that's where we'll then continue the story of Black Adam. So again, The Rock is a big reason why I have this at number 2. We don't know much about where it's going to continue once it gets to present day, but he is the villain of Shazam, so there's a lot of things you could do with that, and I'm really excited for this film. But coming in at number 1, we have The Batman, which is set to release on October of 2021. Now, of all the DC characters, I do know Batman a little bit more, as I have seen the Dark Knight trilogy. It's also one of my favorite trilogies of all these franchises that I love, and also it's one of the best trailers that they've released for these upcoming DC movies, as I was really engaged in this. And this is basically a film, Robert Pattinson is the Batman in this film, and it's basically like a detective, dark, kind of like crime scene type film, where Batman is basically a detective, and you have different scenes like that, and you have like this one scene where Batman just beats up a dude, and he's just huge, and he's just bigger than everybody else. So this, definitely watch this trailer. This trailer is really cool. You're also going to have Catwoman in this, and also the antagonist, the villain in this is the Riddler, as he's basically doing all these crimes, killing these people, and leaving different types of clues that Batman has to try to solve and all that, as he is basically this detective. It's definitely very different than a lot of these other films on this list, but it's a very kind of like small scale movie when you look at all these other movies, as it is a detective film. But that's what I really like about it, and how simple and how good this movie could really be. So that's why it's coming in at number 1. Alright, how did I do? I don't know much about the DC movies, but I just ranked the DC movies I'm most looking forward to. And if you enjoy these types of videos, please click the like button and comment down below which movies you want to talk about more with me. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.